Next up is perhaps my favorite book of the year, and I can't recommend it more. In fact, if you want to get it and you don't want to buy it, DM me, leave a comment. I do have a free PDF of it. It's Armed Struggle, Panthers and Communists, Black Nationalists and Liberals in Southern California through the 60s and 70s by the great, the GOAT, Dr. Gerald Horne. Now, and it's also published by International Publishers, which is the publishing house of the Communist Party USA. But anyways, it is the best book that you can read. For those of us that engage in activism and organizing, and that often look to past struggles, both as terms of inspiration and also in terms of critique, right? We want to learn from the past. We often, especially in the U.S., look to the 60s and 70s. We look to that period of struggle the most. This is a great mapping of really the intersection of Black liberation, the communist and Marxist and leftist movement in the United States, and specifically in Southern California, obviously. And the development of it in Southern California is a sort of test tube for the rest of the country. That really the center of struggle, especially for Black liberation in terms of Gerald Horne's perspective, moves from the South to the West somewhere around the 1950s, if I remember correctly. And there's this massive shift in where the struggle is most important and where it starts developing in terms of Black liberation. And also, obviously, where the placement of the communist struggle, the communist movement is in that development. Obviously, I mentioned Harry Haywood, Claudia Jones. There were some very key Black revolutionaries within the Communist Party before we get to the 60s and 70s. And then we obviously have the McCarthyite era, the Smith Act trials, this sort of decimation of the old left, and then the development of the new left when we get the Black Panther Party, and other formations, whether it be like Ron Karenga's group, and the development of sort of counter-revolutionary forces as well. Obviously, the NAACP is highly centered in the book as well. And where like liberalism and especially Black liberalism deals with that period of struggle and why it is so important, why that period is such a key point. And the argument of that it is a period of actual armed struggle, that it is not merely a period of protest, peaceful movements, that this was a period where revolutionaries in the U.S. engaged in armed